what I did is an example of what not to do. So all of these videos that you're going to watch now, you really should not copy anything that I did, because everything that I did was wrong. Now have a look at what you shouldn't do.
Well, I think that's the White Cliffs of Dover. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I haven't actually gone anywhere by the looks of things. I've just been wafting around in the sea here. Won't be able to see it clearly, but we've just becalmed near this wind farm here, and I've just discovered that this is just off the coast. This is the Isle of Wight, really. I don't know if you can see here. Here's the land ends there. Then there's another bit at the end there. You can just see that must be the Isle of Wight. So we must have come into this bay and headed straight for the Isle of Wight. So that's good, that's perfect. So I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, but looks like I was going to head right through. But don't know. It's just about, wind's just about died down to nothing. I lost my hat in the water, blew off in the last little squall, so I'm wearing my new hat. I made sure I put some holes and tied it down, tied it on. So I'm going to try and take a self-portrait, but it's going to be pretty ugly. Here we go. Let's try it. That's my tied on new hat. Hello everybody. Oh my God. Well, we're just about to pass the Isle of Wight on the right. I managed to get cell phone coverage briefly and sent a message to my lady to let her know that my cell phone's off, and so not to expect to get me. And we've got a Simpson sky. Look at this, isn't it beautiful? A Simpson sky. You can see we're heading 240. That's southwest, and we're only doing a meager, what are we doing? Well, according to this, 1 to 2 knots, probably about 2 knots, and it's a beautiful day. I've managed to rearrange the cockpit a little bit, get myself sorted out a little bit better. I had a nice cup of coffee on deck today. I'll tell you about the fight with the wind farm afterwards, when I put the videos together afterwards. That's White Island there. I'm just passing it at the moment. the transit of Wight Island.
Well, I have to tell you about the wind farm because it's really funny that when I approached this wind farm, it was a rather placid, beautiful time. There was hardly any wind, and the windmills were going round and round. There was a nice sunset, and I thought, oh, this is a nice, peaceful place. And little did I know that it was going to turn into my nemesis. There was one way I could sail was to the left of the wind farm or to the right of the wind farm. And at first I decided to sail to the left of the wind farm. It's a big area of sea. And I thought, no, wait a minute, it might be a bit tight going that way. I better go to the right. If I'd gone to the left, I probably would have been all right. But I went to the right, and I sailed for a long time, hours it was, to get through this wind farm. And as I got further and further along the edge of the wind farm, I got closer and closer to it. And I didn't realise my danger for a while. And then right at the end, I realised that the wind was picking up and I wasn't going to make it round the edge. And so my immediate response was to try to tighten up and try to sail closer to the wind, and which I did for a while, but the boat just like, we hit this really strong, well, it would have been 30, 35 knots or something like that, and the boat was just like heel right over, so, you know, the gunwales were right in the water, and it was dangerous really. So the only thing I could do was let go of the sheet so that I took the power out of the sails and the boat righted itself up. But then I was right on the wind farm, and the blades of the wind farm was coming down like this, and the mast was up there. And you couldn't see whether the mast was above or below the tip of the blade. It was going to like chop the mast off the boat and all the rigging and like be the end of you, you know. And so all I could do was, because I was so close to the pole, was sail under the rotor and turn the boat around, jibe the boat, and then back past another one, and back out of the wind farm, and then I went all the way back. I had to sail all the way back. It was frightening, it was, and the sun's going down at this point, and so all the way back to the beginning of the wind farm. When I get to the beginning of the wind farm, I have to take the other tack. And again, this is only just making it through the wind farm. And so it's late, it's getting dark, and it takes me forever, right into the night, to sail past this wind farm. There's always these lights in the end. Huge, it's like a huge block. Like they stole the ocean from you. Completely dangerous if you had to, you know, be becalmed in a place like this. I hadn't realised the danger. And so, anyway, I got as far away as I possibly could, and then I had to stop for the night. And so I got into what I thought was a shelter place, hove to, and then, my God, in the night I woke up and we were right on the wind farm again. We kind of like rounded up the wind to take the currents taking back the wind farm. I had to sail off it again. So this wind farm was out to get me. But fortunately, in the morning when the sun came up, I was able to sail out of there. And this is where you see me now.
Well, I'm all stuck and becalmed here. And I was over, that's the tip of Wight, I call it Wight Island, because I'm used to that word. It's the Isle of Wight, yeah. And after you get round that corner, well, I was right near that corner, I was in front of that black ship, but I've drifted right back now. They're all anchored. There's loads of them here. They're all sitting here. I don't know whether they're waiting for the tide or a special time or something. There's another one over there. There's more behind me here. They're all parked up for some reason. Don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe the tides have changed or something. So, what I've got to do is, I looked at Windy, and this forecast, this calm is forecast, and so I just have to wait. It's going to pick up again, maybe 7 o'clock it starts, 6 knots. And it's going up to 18 knots. So once I get started, I'm just going to have to head for that corner there. And of course it's getting late, and it will be, I'll have to sail right through the night in 18 knots. So I'm just going to have to head due west, cut right across, go nowhere near the land, and head for the next point, which sticks out, which I forget the name of it is. But that's my strategy. And otherwise I've just been cleaning up a bit, making sure I know what's going on. I'll tell you in the cabin. Okay, well, what were we talking about? Alright, what I've been finding out. Well, there's the water leak, you know, the boat is sinking. It's not really sinking, but if we just let the water carry on coming in, it would sink. And it's coming through the stern gland. It's quite a common place. The stern gland is, the propeller turns around, it's got to have a place that go round and round. So, I can't really fix it on the road, but I do need to fix it when I get back, before I put it on the floating mooring. And so I've been using the bilge pump twice a day at least. And you have to pump it quite a lot. The last time I did it was 150 strokes. And so it's good exercise, I suppose. But you know, it's just something, it's not nice. It's nice to have a boat that doesn't leak, so you don't have to worry about things like that. The bilge is dry. It's not often you get a boat like that. It's very rare actually. So I've been having a bit of a clean up. I washed the salt off myself and got my clothes off. It's hot as, it's really, really hot here. And there's no wind to cool anything down. And I'm just drifting backwards, it seems. Not a lot, but you know, if it's for 4 hours of drifting, it's probably miles. And so it'll take me a long time to make it up. But if the wind comes at 18 knots, I could have put the anchor down, but I didn't want to get involved in that, you know. If the anchor gets stuck or it's not, you know, the chain's not long enough or something, I don't know. Just don't know. I've got no depth sounder, so I can't tell what it's like here. What you really need is a fish finder, a proper depth sounder, and I'm going to have to get one because this just tells you the depth, but you really need to know the type of bottom, and you can, on a good depth sounder, you can see if there's rocks there, or if it's sand, or mud and so on. It gives you a different picture of the bottom. So being a fisherman, an old fisherman, I used to take people out charter fishing once, I like the fish finder kind of sounder, so I'll try and find one. I'll try and find a nice good used one or something like that. As people upgrade these things, there's always better things on the market. But there's nothing wrong with the old one. And maybe the transducer, something that you can use the same transducer as this little thing here. Shouldn't be a problem. Because the transducer, that's quite an expensive part of it actually. It's fitting it to the boat is a big thing. I fixed the clock. I'll show you. I'll show you. The clock. The clock is now ticking, and it's going round and round. And so I did that because I don't want to keep turning on the phone, and so I put the time in once on there, and so I know from Windy, I know if it's 7 o'clock yet, when the forecast is for the to pick up, the wind to pick up, and so on. So a clock is useful sometimes. And the barometer, this also seems to be working, and it's very dry at the moment. So that's good. I got good weather for this, and the wind's in the right direction. Normally the winds blow the other way here, but in actual fact, this period of a week or so, they're blowing from the northeast, so that's really, really good, northeast or east. And the prevailing wind is from the southwest. I'm going to stop it now because there's not much battery left, but I have squeezed this one in, just so you know.